Mark Walsh here from Embodied Yoga Principles. This is a video to help you get your breath off the mat. What do I mean by that? Well, yoga includes loads of great breath work techniques, the pranayama techniques, breath control, sometimes called. You know, you could literally do these in life, right? You could sit on the bus and do alternative nostril breathing, or you could do your bellows breath before in a meeting or something like that. Totally valid. You know, there's times in life when we can duck out and do a few techniques. Some of the simpler ones are perhaps a little less intrusive. You know, if you start doing alternative nostril breathing in many businesses that I've worked with, that might not be cool in a lot of places, right? Which is a shame, but that's just the reality. However, something like a kind of natural breath where you're letting the belly move, or just breathing a bit more fully, or maybe breathe into the chest a little bit more for passion. I always find the chest for passion and the belly for relaxation, yeah? So you can go this way or this way. That's something that you can fairly inobtrusively add to your situation in life. Do I want a bit more passion here, a bit more energy, a bit more yang, a bit more motivation, or do I want a bit more yin, a bit more relaxation, a bit more belly work? So that's a simple way to add it in. Also the breath pattern, you'll notice, has an emotional tone. So there's a very interesting system called Albert emoting, which is used by actors actually in acting training, and it will talk about different rhythms of patterns. So, you know, is your breath an angry breath? Noticing that, maybe like, yeah, maybe sometimes it's good to get angry, so there's sometimes occasionally you choose that, usually not. Is it kind of sad, like, yeah, kind of a sad breath? Is that what you want to go into? Do you want to grieve, or do you want to let go of that for now? Yeah, and you know, happy. There's all sorts of breath patterns you can notice with the emotions and actually engage with them a bit more deliberately. You know, do you want to do that controlled breath of lengthening the out breath slightly is normally a way to relax, rather than lengthening the in breath to strengthening the in breath as a way to energize. So that's your basic thing you can work with. And even if you're not doing, you know, a special weird, you know, bumblebee kind of yoga breathing technique, you know, yeah, you can go off in the bathroom and do that. But knowing how you can work with breathing with different parts, lengthening or shortening breaths, different emotional qualities, different rhythms. There's actually about 8 or 9 different variables you can change in breathing. Some of them no one will even notice. Visualization, you know, visualizing breathing rainbow, that's quite different than visualizing breathing fire. Yeah, it really creates a strong effect and doesn't have to be too weird. Noise, of course, we're talking about breath. So the difference between E, A, O. I was teaching a workshop yesterday. I said, what noise are you? What noise are you? And it's weird, people got it. They were like, I'm or I'm ah, or I'm tutu. Yeah. So again, when we work with breath, we're essentially working with noise, even if it's silent, because the difference between, I'll vocalize, but you can try this silently, between ah, yeah, if I do that without noise, it's, but that sound quality is still there. That's quite different from, and even without the sound, yeah? So working with sound can be quite useful to show you different qualities of breath when you're not making noise. You'll hear this in people's voices, actually. I was listening to podcasts recently, and what I realized is the personality of the person on the podcast I was listening to really came through from the breath. You might find me unbearable or attractive or funny just based on that kind of subtle tonality of my breath. So it shouldn't be underestimated how much that's a part of the emotionality of communication, yeah? Okay, so a little bit on getting breath off the mat. Obviously, mindfulness of breathing, our foundation. I highly recommend all my students who are regular meditators just to establish awareness of the breath before you even do anything with it, I would say, is the primary. And then some of these tools we can use literally, some of them we can use in a more moderated way in order to help ourselves in our lives. So I hope that is useful. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. More importantly, however, get the newsletter. So the newsletter you do, is that right? In the box here? Okay. So why you would want the newsletter? So you hear about the best videos, so you actually ask me questions, you can reply to the newsletter, I'll reply. You can hear about events, teacher trainings, other things that are happening, and stay in touch more reliably. So newsletter there.